Are you tired of watching MWC? Are you looking for a refuge outside of the US for taking, well, what is the maybe second, third, fourth, I don't even know anymore, victory in a row? Well, here we are. Here we are on OMLN4, watching a random 32 matchup between Iran versus riftoyu. Russia versus the United States once again. Well, it still has some element of the United States in there, but it's like just more low-key if you're looking for a little bit of weight. In any case, the rolls have been done. 97 versus 61. It is another victory for the United States. Unfortunately, that is not going to change for now. But rest assured, riftoyu does have a fair amount of potential here as the seed number 33 going against seed number 64. Ren is going to protect the coordination number 3, and I realize I should probably introduce myself. It is right now 6 UTC, and I am just the lonely and very sleepy personage. Riftoyu being the efficient person they are, protecting and then banning afterwards because they know how a match is supposed to go, unlike a fair amount of people, you know. I mean, I don't blame them. Like, the system kind of changes every time. Like, sometimes you protect second and then you ban second, and sometimes you protect second and then you ban first. Here, you protect second and then first, so that is very apt of riftoyu to protect technical one, which is fairly releasey and almost coordination-like, as some people pointed out. Well, I think the map was oversized really, but I do dare say that a lot of the coordination and technical picks kind of melt together without necessarily overlapping themselves. But our first pick is going to be wildcard number 3, Virtual Paradise. It is not a cat paradise, but it is a virtual one. You can make of that virtual paradise what you will. A cat paradise if you want. If you really want to. But the virtual one kind of implies that you can make of it what you want. In any case, past the 600 combo mark, riftoyu will have a substantial accuracy lead. So Iran not necessarily having the most stable combo, but riftoyu not necessarily having the most stable combo themselves. So Iran going for the full combo strategy, and riftoyu not necessarily sustaining the pick itself, so the advantage is actually going to go to Iran, which is a really interesting outcome for this first pick. However, Iran not impervious to combo raise themselves, and dropping a fair amount of accuracy with that miss in return. Both of Iran and riftoyu's misses were pretty dirty in nature. And this one is once again going to be pretty ugly for riftoyu. Once again, if you're coming from NWC, this is where people actually bleed. Well, I'm assuming that people actually bled on Grand Finals map pool. Anyways, but here it's Here we're doing things a little bit more low-key in early game, but right now things are actually pretty much tied in terms of accuracy, not necessarily in terms of combo though. riftoyu does have one extra combo break compared to yran. But that is going to be tied. And right now we are looking at an accuracy battle, I believe. So riftoyu does have the slightest lead here. Less than 1,000 points difference between the two players, 0.04%. They are at the same combo break mark, and it's just up to riftoyu to keep that slight lead for themselves in this ending. The final lead is going to be 1,400 points, just a mere miss away from each other, really. So it is a surprisingly close matchup between the two, like on this pick in particular. So in terms of accuracy, riftoyu does have a better ratio than yran, but more 200s, not that much more, mind you, and yran did catch a fair amount of other judgments in their combo breaks, namely 1 200 and 2 50s. And apparently riftoyu's issues stem from hardware rather than, well, what is between the hardware and the keyboard. But it is riftoyu's win regardless. And it was in fact yran's pick for the first wildcard 3, so that is a break point to start the match. So riftoyu definitely has a valuable information to go from in terms of physicality for that seed number 64. So going density 1, well, probably the entire density category really to kind of test around in terms of physicality and stamina. Another very stamina draining pick in the name of Goodness Rage, 3 minutes and 32 seconds. And it doesn't really stop, maybe except in the anime post-chorus, post-bridge break part. If I do go from regular song structure, I don't even remember the now, to be honest. Well, I do remember like the gist of the map, which is like density oriented, but also fairly coordination demanding, as it has a fair amount of release elements to it. So it's not only a long pick, but it's also a pick that you have to pay attention to, because like the OD is fairly high and the releases are very substantial. And also like the broken aspect of it, and it just forces you to go along the song itself. However, yran doing a lot better than on wildcard number 3. So this pick is a fair amount more straightforward than Virtual Paradise. And yran right now showing their rage and just showing what they're capable of. Just towing riftoyu just a little bit shy in terms of accuracy, but if anything happens to riftoyu, like right now, dripping 0.05% accuracy right now, yeah, what can I say? This is really close still. the situation remains the same between the two players. riftoyu right now at 99.67 and Run at 99.61. I do feel like the trend of accuracy is probably going to remain the same. However, both of the players are dropping a fair amount of early releases and late releases, so the accuracy is kind of constant, also kind of staying the same. So it's kind of interesting to watch between the two players. So it does feel like any 200 could drop at any time and steer the lead really any way between the two players, but also it, as a result, the accuracy just kind of remains the same. However, what can happen between the two players is a combo break. And that is going to happen on yran's side, the underdog, unfortunately. So riftoyu right now up 1-0, looking to grab that second point with that combo break, but they do have to sustain this map as well up until the end. It's another combo break for yran, just giving more advantage to riftoyu, just giving more of a breathing room, I say. So up to 12,000 points advantage to riftoyu right now. They are right up in the ending and can afford to just play the rest of the map, with their mind rest assured that they will get this win. But they did get the full combo. Just for good measure, 987k, just pretty decent, but also a fair amount of 200s, but nothing too dramatic. It is still a count below yran, just a 9 200s below yran, so it is still a superior accuracy compared to yran. So I do think that riftoyu going for density is most likely a good play. yran is going to stay in the wildcard category, opting for Nothing Just Feel as a next pick. I do feel that this pick in particular is like very unique, and going for it as a second pick is pretty daring, but also at this point, if you're seat number 64, you gotta try things. And if you know that your opponent as the seat number 33 is like prone to at least some amount of combo breaks, then you cannot just head them with the hard picks up front. So I do think it's a reasonable strategy. And as a welcome surprise, I should say, yran is getting the advantage of the riftoyu with an accuracy I honestly did not expect coming from yran. Like 99.81, what is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? They have been having 99.5 or 99.6 as an average in the rest of the match, but right now they're peaking at 99.8. What is happening? What is this seat 64? Okay, we are coming back to human realms right now, as riftoyu is actually getting closer to 99.7, dangerously coming close to yran. This match is the weirdest match I've seen so far in the OMLN4, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, but the riftoyu does strip a fair amount of accuracy, keeping the gap between the two players. So riftoyu not necessarily being confident on erratic technical patterns, but like Nothing Just Feel. So it's quite interesting to grasp coming from yran. It definitely means that their wildcard/tech strategy is paying off. maybe Virtual Paradise was too straightforward, actually, to actually get the points on that wild card. And yran still keeping their head above the 99.7 territory. And we are coming to the ending. Will yran get a 990k score as the seed number 64? And they actually will. 99.73, 991k with only 7 200s against the seed number 33. That is a significant point to be getting right now at 6 UTC on twitch.tv/OCMania Live. I do not know what to think about that score. It's like another player entered yran's computer right now. It's like better ratio, better 200 count. I feel like someone took over the reins. Is someone else playing? And it is kind of an off-topic announcement right now, but the United States just won Andalusia once again. Not much of a news, so to speak. It was pretty much what everyone expected. But 7-3 is definitely, I dare say, a decent result to be having in grand finals at least. Props to South Korea to actually scaling compared to China. Unfortunately, China did have to fall prey to scaling. But let's get back to our OMLN match. The next pick is going to be the remaining wildcard, actually. So yran not necessarily having the occasion to pick the remaining wildcard. So riftoyu is going to actually go for it. But White Do I is less volatile than Dumping Just feels. So so it might be a pick that comes to the advantage of riftoyu, as they are showing right now 99.80 versus 99.70 just about for yran. But riftoyu is prone to dripping a fair amount of accuracy themselves with a fair amount of late releases that will bring them below yran right now, and yran seems to have properly woken up, sustaining their head right above 99.7. But I think this matchup in particular is prone to a lot of whimsy, a lot of fickle combo breaking tendencies and accuracy dropping tendencies. I do feel like riftoyu is more prone to getting random 200s than yran is. So right now, if yran manages to keep their combo alive all the way through, it is a good occasion to catch the breakpoints back. Right now, riftoyu keeping the combo alive. But still dripping a fair amount of accuracy. yran manages to keep that accuracy fairly stable for themselves, hanging around 99.70. That's a 664 once again. That's very surprising to me. And riftoyu is still dripping a fair amount of accuracy, just looking to give away that point, and I don't think there's like enough song left for riftoyu to catch up because of that accuracy gap between the two players, and that is going to be a very surprising 989k coming from yran versus riftoyu's 983k. the ratio is definitely better on Iran. It's like not much difference between the two players in terms of ratio. But the 200 count is where it's at in terms of accuracy gap. riftoyu definitely prone to dropping a lot more 200s. And I don't really know what happened to Iran on the two first picks to kind of like having them lower, having lower accuracy compared to the other picks. But if we are able to have a run for the rest of the picks, then it's definitely a good sign for them for things to come. In any case, the next pick is going to be density number 2. And Iran going for it. It's definitely a lot more sustained as a density pick. But it is also a pretty short one, so Iran definitely has to focus, to hard focus accuracy. And in return, riftoyu has to recover that pinpoint accuracy they had in the first few picks and maintain them all the way through. Right now, still dripping a fair bit of accuracy, going down to 99.6. Iran not quite dropping yet, so we are starting to see a pattern here. riftoyu still prone to dropping a fair amount of late releases, unfortunately. Iran a lot more stable than they were in the early match still, so... And here we go, riftoyu with the unfortunate combo break in the chorus. Still dropping accuracy, and right now we're in a very solid run. Looking to perhaps catch up to 99.7 territory, but not quite getting there, as the accuracy is still like stabilizing around 99.65. I think the ratio would bring them back to 99.7, but the 200s keep them at bay away from that. Coming into the last chorus, the gap between the two players is definitely substantial, both in terms of accuracy and in terms of combo. That one single combo break in that pretty short pick is definitely precarious for riftoyu, so Iran looking to take the lead in this match. As to see number 64 once again, looking to upset their opponent here. Only 9 200s coming from the seat number 64. Once again, a very surprising outcome. However, riftoyu does show that they still have like the raw density ratio ability between the two players, but it is the 200 count that kind of just box them down. The next pick is going to be technical one, Lovka. A pretty whimsy pick, pretty whimsy map as a whole. So definitely prone to catching a lot of straight 200s on the way. And we do know that both of our players are prone to catch 200s on the way, and also fairly abrasive patterning throughout. Not necessarily a lot of physicality involved, but there are a lot of graces here and there. So both the players do have to kind of pay attention to where they're releasing. So I do think that accuracy in this pick in particular is going to play a lot of a role here. Riftoyu catching the first few accuracy drops here, Iran looking a lot more stable here still. So the pattern continues between the two players. So I do think that riftoyu at this point has to keep the combo alive and hope that Iran starts to fall again in terms of combo. But right now, Iran looks surprisingly solid for a seat number 64 once again. And right as I say that, they are dropping from 99.7 to 99.55. And that's what I mentioned about this pick being quite prone to accuracy drops. You can start from 99.7, sure, but you can drop in the blink of an eye if you do not pay attention to the map. So riftoyu does have a window of opportunity to catch up, as we are in the 99.5 territory for both the players. Iran catching up to 99.60 somehow, just out of pure accuracy ability, but riftoyu is still not managing to stabilize towards 99.9 unfortunately. But Iran is not quite out of the woods yet, as they are dropping once again towards 99.53. That is very dangerous to be doing, as riftoyu is just right behind there. If riftoyu can maintain this accuracy as Iran is dropping, then the point can go towards riftoyu potentially. But we are coming to the ending. No! Iran just dropping in the ending, and that will be their undoing as riftoyu gets the last minute lead. Iran had it in the bag. Look at that accuracy, like 6 less 200s compared to riftoyu, but that one single combo break in the ending, not even reaching the 400 combo cap, catching back up, is going to instill the gap of less than 2,000 points between the two players and give the third point to riftoyu. It is right now 3-3 between the two players. And we are looking on a trend to another tiebreaker in this seed 64 versus 33 matchup. What is going on? I do not understand this matchup, bro. The next pick is going to be coordination number 3. And it is coming from a category we did not really investigate yet, which is going to be coordination. I do feel like both of these players are fairly wild-caught / density oriented. And in terms of coordination, it is rather unexplored territory. So it is going to be pretty interesting to see how both the players fare, especially on a fairly shieldy / chokeable pick. Both the players are prone to combo breaks here and there, so keep your eyes peeled. Accuracy doesn't matter 100% all the way through, because as you saw in the last pick, Iran dropping combo at the most crucial moment on the outro of Lafka gave away the point to riftoyu. But right now, riftoyu is able to get a fair amount of breathing room. Dare I say 1 or 2 misses worth of accuracy. 99.7 right now? Well, it used to be 99.8, but right now dropping to 99.6. A fair amount of late releases, unfortunately, coming onto riftoyu's side. It's going to tie them against Iran. Iran a lot more stable, but still prone to a fair amount of late releases. In any case, once again, I do feel like a combo break can happen at any time in this map because like the shields come and go. And also the coordination elements here are also pretty 200 prone between the two players. So while everything is on 1-4, like the elongated nature of the pick itself will make either player drop 200s, but right now yran manages to catch up in terms of accuracy, just avoids any 200 on their way, and that allows them to take the lead against riftoyu. Riftoyu not managing to keep that accuracy alive, catching a fair amount of like late releases on the way. But right now, it is just, once again, a miss could steer the bounce to the other player, and that's exactly what happens. riftoyu with the cleanness, however, that will give the definite lead to yran. But yran going into the solo section, which is fairly challenging in its own respect in terms of keeping accuracy. But yran comes out alive into the slightly more demanding in terms of coordination break section. So the accuracy still stays alive on yran's side. And also the combo, so yran doing a great job of just maintaining the combo alive and also the accuracy. riftoyu did have a very decent start to the map, but wasn't able to keep it all the way through. So yran with the ratio advantage and 200 advantage on this pick in particular, but also the combo advantage. So basically, it kind of just looks like this pick was made for him. But it is pretty much the only pick that looks like that. So riftoyu, with the last non-tiebreaker pick of the match, is definitely has a lot more, a fair amount of choice in regards to what they are going to pick as the last pick. So coordination number 2 is the least physical pick out of all of them. Perhaps the most dangerous one, as yran just won on ratio on a coordination pick. But if they are looking to challenge yran in terms of combo, then technical 2 is a decent choice. Technical 3 is probably the most physical out of the 3 remaining picks. And riftoyu with the quite surprising coordination 2 pick. I do feel like that is the most dangerous pick for riftoyu themselves. yran definitely able to out-ratio them on this pick, but if riftoyu just locks in, maybe, just maybe, they'll be able to get to tiebreaker. In any case, this is match point, and yran has secured the tiebreaker at least. So riftoyu does have to go through their 4th point still. Alright, let's go into Chase Me, a very pure coordination demanding, like almost slow invest in terms of nature. And riftoyu seems a lot more comfortable on this one in particular. And surprisingly, Iran is going to drop a fair amount of accuracy. I did not expect him to not be comfortable on this one, necessarily. And so we are going to have a tied matchup between the two players on this very last non-tiebreaker pick. Oh no. What is going to happen here? Iran has to maintain this level of accuracy and also combo, because like everything is so mind blockable. Like at any point a combo break could happen and steer the bounce to the other side. No. Why is it tied? Why is it tied just shy of the tiebreaker? I don't even want to look at this. No. Why? Why are you tying? Why are you tying on this pick in particular? It should not happen. This is not supposed to happen. But Iran, with the clutch 99.67 full combo all the way through, is going to take away the match from seed number 63 with the tremendous seed upset. They could have given up one or two 200s, one 100, or a combo break on this very mind-blockable pick, but no, they did not. 989 versus 987, the gap is not huge at all, and 5 to 3 is perhaps the closest they could have gotten as an outcome against the seed number 33. It was not a free match at all for Iran, but they actually got it, and they can go into round 16 still in the losers bracket, mind you. But unfortunately, riftoyu is going to have to stop playing this tournament, as there's no losers bracket. In any case, Iran is going to fight Crimsonite. That is very interesting. Crimsonite with the unfortunate no-show, like 10 minutes away from being able to play Matcha Latte, unfortunately. But they're going to play Iran next week on the Rana 16 map, and it's definitely going to be harder. So if Iran already doesn't necessarily scale to some of the harder picks in round 32, it's definitely looking like an interesting matchup, but we have to see how Crimsonite scales exactly, because we have no information to go from, because they just didn't play round 32. In any case, the next match is going to be Concava versus and that is going to be 1 hour and 22 minutes from now. Concava right now streaming this match. Shoutouts to Concava. Say hi to Concava, because they are going to most likely rest a little bit, and then just play afterwards. But they are one of the world's best players, so definitely looking forward to see them on the playfield. So, but right now, I shall be signing off and crashing out on my couch before the next match begins. So, take care. 자꾸 나만 보면 안 된대. 짜릿한 걸 원할 뿐인데